What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a long overdue episode of the Post to Post podcast. This week's episode is episode 60. As you all may have noticed, last week we did not release an episode. We had some issues in the basement here. My co-host Matt Small is with me again. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Much better this week. We got some water down here, so a little bit of a basement flood. A lot of it. I kind of felt like I was Jack on the Titanic when I was stepping in the water. It was not good here, but
that was a last second cancellation.
Yeah, I got it all cleaned up. We're good to go. We just decided to push it off a week, so we're back. We got 2 weeks of stuff, so this will probably be a little bit of a crammed episode here.
Mm-hmm.
Today is February 25th. This will be dropping for you guys on Monday the 28th, I believe. But let's get into some trades and signings this week. Minnesota traded goalie Andrew Hammond to Montreal in exchange for left wing Brandon Baddock. Andrew Hammond actually hasn't played an NHL game in 1,425 games. He won his first game back versus the New York Islanders with a 3-2 win, making 30 saves. And he also still has his lifetime free McDonald's.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they actually did end up giving him that, which is hilarious.
That's
I thought
awesome.
that was great.
The Hamburglar.
It was good to see him back.
Mm-hmm.
And he played really well, so it's tough to get a win for Montreal these days.
It's gonna be great when he retires. Be like, who wants McDonald's?
Yeah, when they moved him in, they actually traded away right winger Tyler Toffoli to Calgary in exchange for a first round pick in 2022 that is top 10 protected, a 5th round pick in 2024, right wing Emil Heineman, and center Tyler Pitlick. That's quite a bit to give away for Tyler Toffoli, because that's exactly what Montreal needs in this rebuild.
I think you said it right. The Montreal rebuild right now, and if you can send away a guy like Tyler Toffoli, who is a great player, for 4 players total, you should definitely do it.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, top 10 protected is pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
So that's good on both ends.
Right, exactly.
Tyler Toffoli, actually, it's going to be great for him because he is reunited with his best friend Milan Lucic. He actually picked him up from the airport and posted a pic to social media when the news was dropped. The picture of him and Toffoli on a roller coaster in Disneyland. I thought that was so awesome. So cool to see. He's actually also joining his former coach in Daryl Sutter, who used to coach both him and Lucic in LA.
Oh, yeah, shit.
So I thought that was really interesting to see. But I think Calgary, we're going to get into Calgary and Montreal later on. We're going to have to cover like all 32 teams at this point, but we'll talk about them a little bit more later on.
Mm-hmm.
The Arizona Coyotes traded goalie Carter Hutton to Toronto for future considerations, which is basically a bag of pucks.
Mm-hmm.
The Coyotes also gave an undisclosed 3-year contract extension to Dyson Mayo, who I've never heard of in my life.
Really? Never heard of Dyson Mayo?
No, yeah.
He's been a solid player. I don't think he's putting much up stat-wise, but he is a solid player.
Is he like a shutdown, stay-at-home defenseman kind of guy? He's a defenseman, right?
He's great. Yeah, he's a defenseman. Good guy. Local guy.
Yep.
But yeah, he's one of those players. Again, I talked about like no stat wise, like he just won't show it stat wise. But if you ever watch a Phoenix Coyote or Arizona Coyotes game, you'll hear Dyson Mayo a lot, and he gets the job done. So
yeah, I
solid
mean,
move.
if you're a 3rd, 4th line guy, as long as even if you're not putting up the numbers, as long as you're not like screwing up left and right, I think you're good to go. Just fly under the radar.
Right.
That's kind of what teams are looking for.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Toronto actually traded Nick Ritchie and Arizona's choice of a 2023 3rd-round pick or a 2025 2nd-round pick to Arizona for Ilya Lyubushkin and Ryan Zingle.
Oh, Lyubushkin? I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, Lyubushkin sounds right.
Yep.
And Ryan Zingle, who Toronto immediately placed on waivers and was immediately claimed by San Jose. So there was another player as well that we didn't actually cover this week because it's been wild. It's been a roller coaster, like up, down, left, right. Here you go, traded, picked up, waivers. It's kind of wild to see
Adam
all
Brooks.
the steps players go through. Adam Brooks, you said?
That's his name, right? Adam Brooks, who's
I think
just
so.
on our way on waivers.
Yeah, it's nuts to see what all these players go through in order to just get up and down from the minors, because that's how it works. You have to clear waivers to even get sent to the minors, and then if someone wants to pick you up,
right,
you're gone. Anaheim also parted ways with their assistant GM Dave Nonis. I don't really have too much on him, and I doubt you do too, right?
Nope.
I mean, I don't really understand this move. Kind of weird to see them bouncing an assistant GM when the team's doing so well this season.
Right.
Just odd. And Toronto finally, for our last trade and sign, placed defenseman Jake Muzzin on long-term injured reserve, clearing $5.65 million in cap space, which will probably mean something at the deadline for them.
Toronto needs anything they can get with cap space right now.
Jake Muzzin is not a bad defenseman too, so it's terrible to see these good goalies and good defensemen play there and just not play well and just get exposed and lit up by the fans.
Right.
But let's head on to some around the league NHL news. Do you want to kick it off with Montreal?
Yeah, let's kick it off from Montreal here. So Montreal had 10 losses in a row in the past 2 weeks. It was the first time since 1926 the team hasn't been this bad in almost 100 years. And that's saying a lot about Montreal Canadiens right now.
That sure is. And Montreal fans know that this dynasty back in the day, ran the table in the league, and they were like the team to beat. Mm-hmm. So it's terrible to see. But in good news, they did hire Marty St. Louis as their new head coach. Mm-hmm. He had a great quote on his plan for the team going forward. He wants them to play with more instinct and less focus on the system of the team. It'll allow players to make their own reads and excel on the ice. I thought that was awesome to see. Mm-hmm. It's definitely the new wave of players coaches, especially when the coach is one of the best players in the league and just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. So I did think it was funny to see him go with a buddy hire, Vinny Lecavalier, to make him the new special advisor to hockey ops. And he also hired, I don't know this guy, Nick Balbarov, to join the team as an advisor. So.
Yep. I think, like anything, I think everyone exceeds when you work with a friend, work with a player that has the same mentality. We're just we're gonna work on this team. We're gonna get everyone better.
Yeah.
Instead of some rando who has different opinions, and you just gotta kind of quietly work with them.
You got to kind of feel them out too, in the sense of I'm in charge of this guy. Is he really giving me his full feed? How does he feel? Things like that. Him and Lecavalier were teammates, so he's going to be able to be wide open with them and just tell him how it is.
Just give each other shit and be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like how we do on the podcast.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Fun fact too: Marty St. Louis' first win as a player, first NHL point, and first win as a coach all came against St. Louis.
That's awesome.
Pretty interesting.
So, I actually was it last week? Fuck. It was last week or this week that I went on the Montreal Canadiens website, and I was actually looking because I was curious about their roster. And I was like, where are they all from? And it's, we talked about the old school Canadiens where everyone's just from Canada or whatever. Yep. I think Canadiens really kind of stuck with it. There's I think 2 Russians on there. One guy's from Minnesota, I believe. Everyone else is from Quebec City or some part of Canada. It's very a what do I want to say? Conservative team mentality.
Yeah.
Or not team mentality, but sort of what I want to say. Organization mentality, I guess, where they're just nope, we're gonna bring in these Canadians, we're gonna make a good team, and here they are, dead last.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
It's also interesting to see him implement this system too. A player that is really excelling under this system is Cole Caulfield. He hasn't been doing too hot, up and down with this team to the minors. But since Marty St. Louis came in, he's scored 5 goals, and he's recorded 8 points in 6 games. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that you let the leash go a little longer, and he can really get some stuff moving.
Done. Yep. And we talked about him last year. Gold Caulfield, man. He's fucking lining it up in the playoffs. And I think with Marty St. Louis, exactly what you said, you loosen the leash and let him do his thing, and he gets the job done.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. One quick little side note on Washington, too, to jump subjects, is Lars Eller had a crazy Ovechkin quote. We've heard about him doing Pepsi during the game and Dr. Pepper during the intermissions, all this crazy nonsense. Mm-hmm. Lars Eller actually came out and said before every game, Ovechkin has a foot-long spicy Italian sub with double cheese and extra mayo. That is foul, dude. That before every game, that's 82 games. That's 82 foot-long Italian subs. Extra cheese.
These
extra
Russians
mayo.
are just built different, bud.
Built different. They run on fumes, man.
They run on fumes and
it's
vodka
so wild.
and everything else.
It's so nuts. But I don't know. That's just a different breed of crazy, dude. I've heard that Phil Kessel also eats a lot of candy, but a foot-long spicy Italian sub before every game.
Phil Kessel's Phil Kessel. He also eats a bunch of hot dogs before a game.
Yeah, allegedly.
We'll
see.
But I don't know who. Oh, fuck, there was a Spittin' Chicklets. There was a Spittin' Chicklets episode that it was part of I can't remember who the player was, but he talked about Ovechkin coming over for a family meal, and he's Italian, so his mother made a huge Italian dish. The first thing Ovechkin looked at the food. The first thing Ovechkin said was do you have any ketchup? Which, as an Italian, is the last thing you should ever say to an Italian woman who made food. And it's just kind of funny. Just Russians are just kind of built different.
Yeah.
Who would look at pasta and meatballs and be like, no, I'm gonna put ketchup on this.
That's child stuff.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Oh,
just gross.
That is gross.
Ugh. Want to move on here to you're the one who did this here. So we got Philadelphia and Detroit.
Yeah, so Philly and Detroit, there was a 4-2 loss against the Red Wings for Philadelphia. Keith Yandle decided to throw his stick in front of Michael Rasmussen, who was heading to put the puck in the empty net. Like, it's just kind of nuts to see that in the NHL, right? Like, he's coming in, empty net, just going to skate the puck in and put it in. And then the defenseman decides to throw his stick. Like, I've seen it in men's league before, and it's like just kind of a gutless move, but I think he does it to be funny there. Because, he's got the goal anyways, and if it hits the puck away, it's
still
a goal.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was kind of a little funny.
Such like a give-up move, too. Just throw the stick.
Yeah.
I've seen it in men's league, too.
Savage. I don't know. I don't respect it, though. I'm like, dude, what? In the NHL, I might, bundle you for that. You know what I mean? But let's stick on some Detroit topics here, too. Moritz Seider just looking so good this season. His reverse hits and no-look hits have been incredible. New York Rangers' Chris Kreider pressures him on the puck. Seider's not even looking at him and just lowers the boom on him and reverse hits him. Kreider's not a small guy either.
No, big dude.
That was awesome to see.
Yep.
He also had another reverse hit on Gabriel Landeskog, who came in to press him behind the net.
Yep.
And just the same thing. And then along the wall by the benches, he had a huge one on Burakovsky, too. So this Moritz Seider guy is no joke.
He's been nailing guys.
He's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
And he's like the future I think he's like the future example of what, a big body stay-at-home defenseman is going to be, that can move the puck out and has the confidence to be last man back behind his own net and just eat a hit and still be able to make a pass out of the zone,
That's sick. Let's move on to this New York Rangers versus the Boston Bruins. So I got home from work, I put it on, and I just blew up your DMs with how crazy this game was, by the way. Igor Shesterkin and Jeremy Swayman were incredible, but they're also getting a lot of shots. It was just such a back and forth game. It's like what hockey should be, But Shesterkin for sure is just standing on his head. So Shesterkin was also pulled. Hold on, let me say this again. So Shesterkin pulled for concussion protocol with 40 seconds left in overtime. So I guess to add to that too is he was standing on his head, like what I said, and as a goalie, this happened when he got pulled for the concussion protocol. It was for something he got crushed. I wouldn't say crushed into, but he got ran into 3 or 4 minutes, game time before they pulled him. And so when they pulled him, the refs came over and be like, "Hey, listen, you got the call, you gotta get pulled." And he was rip shit. He goes, "You should have pulled me when it happened. I was fine." So as a goalie, you're just I want to see this all the way through. I want to win this game. So
and I also get being mad at that. The concussion protocol, as good as it is that it's in the NHL and the NFL too. The NFL is really where it's spotlighted, but they just don't seem to implement it properly, like you said. If it takes 2 minutes after a hit for you to realize, hey, we should probably check on this guy,
right.
You either should have checked on him 2 minutes ago or, you haven't, so why would you now?
So why would you now?
You need to, make that decision right then and there.
So he's livid, as you should. I was totally with Shesterkin on that, but then they threw in Georgiev with 40 seconds left in overtime, which I was like, oh, the Bruins are going to snipe one by, and Shesterkin's going to be in the locker room just livid, just pissed off.
40 seconds isn't a long time, though. I didn't think that they were going to get one on him just because it's only 40 seconds, you know what I mean? So.
Right. But then he was actually able to return for the shootout, which also, when he came back, the refs were just questioning that too. Can you go up for a concussion protocol yet still come back in the game?
100%, yeah.
But, yeah.
in the NFL, at least, you cleared concussion protocol. You don't have a concussion by the terms of the doctor, so I think he absolutely should be allowed to. Like you said, maybe it is in the rulebook that he can't, but I think he should be able to.
But, at this time now, Chris's DMs were just flooding with every information I could find out, and my face to the screen was just is Shesterkin going to get pulled again? This is just insane. But then, so on the shootout, Panarin had just an incredible goal, and then Keandre Miller wins it for the Rangers in 9 rounds. Shesterkin was bullshit, about being pulled. Dude, so Panarin was the goal, or it was a Kreider that I'm thinking of that had that no-look, no-move shot.
Kreider did that in the All-Star Skills Challenge, and then I think you texted me that he did it again.
He did it again in this game, and Jeremy Swayman picked him up on it. But just an incredible game altogether.
So Kreider didn't score on that one?
Kreider didn't score on it. Yeah.
Panarin's was awesome. He came in and he almost didn't move the puck, but the way that he kept his skate, he kept the weight on his right skate and was just shifting the weight on his left skate forward and back. And then the deceptiveness of that and like baiting Swayman into the poke check, he was able to like commit to that left skate and come over backhand and shelf it. It was nice.
Right.
A really nice goal to ski.
So as we're here, kind of jerking Igor Shesterkin off.
I like that.
Yeah,
jerking
like that
Shesterkin.
Jerking Shesterkin. Let's get into his play as of late. So he actually has the fewest games to reach 50 wins in franchise history with 79 games. Also holds the highest save percentage in 50 years with .940 in at least 25 games played. Medium asked him if he has noticed his name come up in Vezina Trophy conversations. He replied, "No, I don't speak English in English," which is, he's got some funny stuff going on over there. And then he went to the empty net versus Ottawa. He also sent an awesome breakout pass to Panarin in overtime versus Detroit a few days later. So this dude can pass the puck. That pass to Panarin, I think also the empty netter was just like one legged up, right?
Yeah, I know that the pass was a shot from Detroit on the right wing. He gloves it. He takes the presence of mind to realize it's 3-on-3 overtime, like my guy's going to be breaking. One of the Detroit players didn't go press him, so he takes the puck out of his glove, puts it down before the refs can blow it, and gets an awesome sauce, gets underneath it, and it goes like basically over Panarin's shoulder, and he corrals it, but didn't end up scoring. But like just the fact that you can create offense from your own goalie now is great.
It's
good
just
to
insane.
see.
Yep.
And yeah, he barely missed that Ottawa empty
Right.
net, man. Like it was almost like the way the puck was spinning on the ice, it curled it a little bit to the left.
Kind of reminds me of like old school, like Mike Smith or Marty Brodeur, where just like now Shesterkin's the guy that just like you can't let him have the puck, or he's gonna make a play out of it.
It reminds me of that legendary curler for the U.S. Olympic team.
I can't remember.
That's what
his
that reminds me of. Was it Matt Hendricks?
Matt Hendricks.
I
Yeah,
could be
you
wrong,
nailed it.
though.
The long flow and the gut and just the epitome
Of Wisconsin.
Of Wisconsin. Dude, I love that guy. We'll put a picture of
Guy's
him
a
down
hero.
there. Just a hero and a half.
A
He
real
became
American
a meme
hero.
so quick. I loved him last year. Last Olympics, he had the hair cut, but I still liked him. And then this year, like I put on the Olympics,
The
and here he
stash,
is,
dude.
stash, long hair, like oh my god,
So
this guy's
good.
a legend.
So good.
I want to move on to Vancouver for us.
Yeah, sure. So Thatcher Demko actually had an awesome set of throwback pads here, honoring former goalie Kirk McLean. It had the old CCM logo and all, which was awesome, the black and white. So cool to see. Demko's got some great style, and I really like the way he's been playing this season.
I want to know what he did with CCM, because CCM did the old school stick for him as well. And you can't really customize sticks, so I'm sure CCM is just like, well, if you're gonna do this, well, he's part of the CCM brand, the team. So I'm sure when he was doing that, CCM was like, yeah, let's do something special for you.
Yeah, I mean,
That's sick.
that's more social pop for CCM, and
Right.
puts their name in front of everyone. So
It was sick.
they were nice. It was kind of weird to see, like, I think it was black glove and blocker and like brown pads or vice versa, but it was
Vice
weird.
versa.
It was kind of interesting to see that,
It was
but
sick.
it still looked nice.
Yeah. Sorry, Kirk McLean had the random like red and yellow on the back of his glove, which Demko kept. To this day, like I was looking at like the side to side, and I'm like, why? I don't know. It is what it is, but
Yeah.
it's weird to have like all kind of brown, black, and then just like the random like other colors on the back of your glove, and that's it.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't know. Just my thought.
Anyways, sticking to Vancouver, actually, we have some Jumbotron comedy around the league. This has been like the new thing, just like Jumbotron games that people are playing for some reason. Earlier this season, we saw NHL fan lookalikes in St. Louis, and now Vancouver was actually exposing fans on the Jumbotron for wearing the wrong jersey to the game. So, for example, if it's like Vancouver versus like, I don't know, Calgary, and someone's there wearing like a Bruins jersey, they'll like zoom in on them and everyone will fucking like boo them for wearing the wrong jersey. Like, what are you doing? I always thought that was like the weirdest thing in the world. Like, why are you wearing the jersey of a team that's not even like relevant right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I never understood that at all.
that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's
It's like,
like
I like
Bruins-
hockey.
Bruins Canadiens, you were wearing like an Arizona.
Yeah,
Coyotes
it's like this is the
jersey.
only jersey I own, basically. That's what that tells me. But I thought that was great. There's-
Actually, I came close. Actually, now that you say that, I came close.
because you got those last minute Vancouver
the last
tickets.
minute Vancouver tickets. I would have wearing Bruins stuff to a Canucks Arizona Coyotes.
I would have just worn like a regular shirt and pants and then just bought a hat at the rink. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. That's my play. They also had some kiss cam drama in Philadelphia. So this was hilarious. There's a guy and a girl with an empty seat in between them, and the kiss cam goes on to make them kiss. And I think the announcer's like talking to people over the Jumbotron while they're doing this, which is kind of funny. So like, oh, come on, do it. They're like looking at each other, hesitating. They're like, yeah, whatever. So they end up like kissing. And then the camera pans away and like crowd goes nuts because they kiss. Camera pans away and like gets another couple to kiss. And then they go back to that same people, and the chick's boyfriend comes in and sits in between them, and it's still the kiss cam. So she's like this, and the dude next to her was like, "Oh my god!" And then the boyfriend like looked up, was like, "Hey, kiss cam," and she's like, "Oh." Barely kisses him, dude. Like, oh no, dude.
Oh,
so
no.
awkward.
Oh,
so funny
boy.
though. What a bold move for her to do that.
4K,
though.
right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, cotton
Jesus.
4K. That's what they say. That's great.
Boy.
Dallas did another one too. They were creating fake messages for fans that were texting during the game. I thought that was funny.
I saw. Yep,
That was good.
Great.
And then the last one. This wasn't really like Jumbotron, like comedy, but Vancouver ends up beating Calgary the other night 7-1, and they actually like zoomed in on a Calgary fan leaving the building
Leaving
when Vancouver went up 7-0. So funny.
We're in a Goudreau jersey. Just
Yeah.
like everyone's cheering, and here it's just single Calgary fan just like walking slowly up the stairs.
So Calgary was actually on a goddamn heat stick. They tied a franchise record for the longest win streak at 10 games, and Vancouver just decided to piss on that fire and put it out with a 7-1 win. That was nuts, man. Just absolutely expose them. I don't know what was up with that, dude. Like, they tied the franchise record. You'd think they'd want to go one more and get it done and own it, but
To make that 7-1 worse than what it looks like on paper is that one goal didn't happen till like the end of the third.
yeah, that's right. They were up 7-0.
7-0, almost that, like all the way up to like the end of the fucking A. Holy shit, Vancouver put a hurting
Yeah.
on Calgary.
So speaking of putting a hurting, we're putting a hurting on Dylan Cousins' wallet here. So Dylan Cousins plays for Buffalo. He actually cross-checked Brock Nelson of the New York Islanders in the back when he wasn't looking. So Nelson was basically heading to the bench, and he like waited, like kind of looked like the ref was kind of watching him, like I know you're gonna do something here. It was like creeping up on him and like cross-checked him right in the lower back and like drove down into his pants.
Yeah.
So that like entirely takes your skates out from under him. I was honestly surprised he wasn't suspended. He was fined around $2,200, which was the max allowed by the CBA, I guess. What did you think?
I didn't like it. I thought it was just dirty. I sent you that. Did I send you that or you sent me that? And I remember your reaction was just like, is he going to get fined? Like, what's going to go on? I'm like,
I said he was
hope
getting 2 games. You
some
said 2
kind
or
of
3.
suspension, like 2 to 3.
I think he should have, dude. That's a defenseless
It was
player.
just disgusting. Like it's
the
just
league
the
is
way
crocking.
he drove. Like if it was the head, even more. But I mean, lower back, like it's not that serious. But at the same time, just like a disgusting play.
And that's like what the league is cracking down on this season is cross-checking like
Right.
that too. And the worst part of it was he's fined $2,200, no suspension. We were kind of like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Jamie Benn in a Dallas Stars game against Chicago actually is fined $5,000 for squirting water at a Blackhawks player.
dumb.
It is absurd.
Dumb.
You get fined twice as much. So you're telling me Jamie Benn could have gone out there and cross-checked the Blackhawks player in the back when he isn't looking and saved himself $2,800?
Probably ruined the other player's career and saved himself half that fucking amount of money.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Just like ruined his career by spraying water on him.
It's just it's ass backwards around here.
Right.
I don't understand that at all.
Unreal.
$5,000 for fucking. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I can't play next game. I got water on me.
They were talking, I mean, not to jump back to Chicklets, but they were talking about it on there, and they were saying that back before the 05 lockout, the socks used to be like wicked heavy, like wool, and that players would like squirt their calves because those socks would get like wet and cold and add like a fucking pound of weight to both of your legs.
I didn't think about that.
And they're like, dude, it was brutal back then, I guess. So.
What else did Chicklets say too? Is like the home players used to come in extra early, and they used to put sand all over like the walkway for like the away
certain
teams.
arenas would, yeah,
Yeah.
certain ones would. It's messed up.
Some dirty shit going on in hockey.
Back then, yeah, I think back then.
Did what you had to do, you know?
Yeah. You want to cover Toronto here?
Yeah. So Toronto versus Pittsburgh Penguins. Austin Matthews skates right into the net and ends up losing teeth. Next day in practice, Marner beats up the goalpost for him. Media questions him about it. I think it'd be a great idea if I put my face through it and see what happens. Great question. I think I remember seeing. So I was watching this game as it was happening, and I like saw it happen. I'm like, did anyone push him? And thankfully, like the game like did a replay of it. And I'm like, Austin Matthews by himself went face first into the post, and like no one's behind him. Left.
He was chasing Crosby, who's in front of him, and he's trying to tuck behind the net and maintain speed, and just face first right into the crossbar. You see like one of his teeth. They zoom in with like the spotlight, and you can see his tooth go flying. Terrible.
Oh.
And the net like
Did
literally
we not
comes
just talk
way
about
up.
the pegs either too with the nets where just like you need some force.
Yeah, the net comes right up
to move the
and
net.
It's all with his mouth, dude. Like
all
bang.
face.
Jesus.
Oh God.
No thanks.
Oh man, you know he's gonna get some shit for that. You guarantee. You guarantee someone's chirping.
There was radio silence on it for like 2 days because I think the team was like it's too soon, and then Marner broke the ice by like beating up the goalpost at practice. So yeah, that's great. That's comedy.
Bad post.
Also, we actually have a save of the year contender in Florida now. Lucas Carlson. You guys probably don't know him as a goalie because he's a defenseman. He's in behind his own goalie, and he basically like kicks the left skate out and like throws the left arm up with the stick. He saves the shot off of his stick, and the puck falls in front of the net. And as it's falling, Carlson swings his stick upwards again. Another player takes a whack at it. It gets it off of Carlson's stick, off the post, and stays out. That was insane, dude.
So sick.
That one's got to be up there for save of the year.
That's defenseman of the year too.
Yeah, for sure.
Add that to it.
For sure.
Guys with like no goalie equipment at all, just like I want to throw my stick at it, see what happens.
Yeah,
and
right.
Saves twice.
The hand-eye too for the second one was nuts.
All for it. Lucas Carlson, if you're watching this, I have a men's league team that I would appreciate you on. So if you can give me a call,
Yeah, we can't exactly match the $750K minimum of the league, but if you want to come play, a little warm up action
or anything at all, maybe I'll give you $10 per game, maybe.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Buy a foot-long Italian.
Yeah. Extra mayo. Russians. Ugh. Is Carlson? No. I'm going down a rabbit hole.
Let's stick to Russians here. Let's jump to Ovechkin. You got some notes on him, right?
Yep. So sticking to Russians here, Ovechkin reached his 30th goal plateau for the 60th, Jesus Christ, the 16th time in his career. He is 1 year shy for the league record. Mike Gartner with 17 seasons holds the record. Ovechkin with 16, and Jaromir Jagr with 15 30-goal seasons. Looking good for Ovi right now. I like what you said like a couple of months ago. You're just like, let's just let Ovi break records, and then at the end we'll all just do one big episode of every record that Ovi broke.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every episode we got something Ovi to talk about. And not even to talk about just Ovi too. We also got Sidney Crosby adding a list too.
The worst part about the Ovi stuff is like none of it's great. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's great. It's all long term like records, all this shit like that. But it's nothing that's like mind blowing like NHL big news. It's like, yeah, it's Ovechkin. He's just gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, some of these stats are just like random stats. Like best left wing player to do this amount of stuff in this amount of time, like sick. That really just breaks down just everything.
The talent pool,
right? But moving on, like how I said about Sidney Crosby too. Sidney Crosby reaches 500 goals. He becomes the 46th player in history to hit that mark. So the top 5 active players in league leading goals. Let's go back to that. Is Ovechkin with 761. Jagr with 766, who's third in the NHL. So he's got 5 more goals left to reach that mark. Crosby with 500, Stamkos with 461, Joe Thornton with 429, who's also tied with Evgeny Malkin with 429. Talking about Malkin here. So Malkin on social media congratulated Crosby by congratulating himself with the assists, which is 109 total assists that helped Crosby get the 500. Very Malkin move here. Yeah. It's Crosby's night, but no, it's Malkin's. Yeah. It's Malkin's time.
You wouldn't be here without me.
Wouldn't be here without me.
109's a lot, dude. That's a fifth of his goals came from him.
He's like, I'm your guy. I'm the reason why you had that 500. I didn't want to let you know that, by the way.
Yeah.
Gino's my favorite, man.
Yeah, he's a big protector for Crosby too. When you think about it like that.
Gino, love him.
Bet.
Gino apples.
I don't know if you touched on Patrick Marleau too. This was interesting. We saw that initially all these stats were coming up about Crosby and 500 goals, blah blah blah. One account listed that he was the 3rd active player to reach this, and one said he was the 2nd. So he did some digging, and Patrick Marleau is ahead of him, but he's technically active on one list and not on the other. But he hasn't played since 2021, last season, not this season, and he is a UFA this season. So I don't know if they are still counting him as active, because if he signs, he can score a goal this year and, keep going, but we thought it was kind of interesting. Just thought I'd chuck it out there.
Yeah, we also got really confused with this too because you brought it up, and then I started looking into it, and you can't find anything on it. So you're like, what does that mean? UFA, like you're still for some reason active?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
does that?
And
mean...
then I was like, yeah, if I sign up and be a free agent, can I be on the list?
Right. Does that mean when you retire, you are now? If Milo said, "I am now retiring," does that mean now he's unactive?
Yeah.
So as a UFA, you are for some reason still an active NHL player.
Yeah, you know what? You could put me in the NHL record books right now as an active UFA, right? I'll sign up and be a free agent, and you can put me in the record books as being, plus minus is 0. That's great. You know what I mean? I'm beating out some guys. I'm better than the dash ones. You know what I mean? Chuck me in there.
This no-name Chris Ronan.
Right.
Who is this guy?
Never heard of him. Hockey DB him, bud.
Yep, one of the best guys in the NHL right
1507. Danny Heatley. All right, moving right along. Another milestone here. LA's Drew Doughty played his 1,000th game. He thanked a ton of people, and I believe they were away in Edmonton for this. He actually thanked the Edmonton Oilers bench for sitting through the ceremony. And this guy's just a character, man. They mic'd him up this week, I think, as well, and it was great content for the NHL. He was like ribbing someone saying, like, why do they let you warm up the goalies? You have like the worst shot. Like, so funny, man. He's a great guy.
I know. I saw Quick. They were like screening the shit out of Quick, and he saw it and saved it. And Drew Doughty just looked down like, how did you see that?
Yeah.
But the whole ceremony thing, he's thanking everyone. And he looks over the Edmonton Oilers bench. He goes, Edmonton is like, I know this sucks, but I'll try to hurry it up. Moving on here, we have Zdeno Chara, more Bruins or past Bruins news.
This isn't Bruins news.
He's past Bruins, bud.
He's an Islanders player.
He's an Islanders guy now.
Way to make it about the Bruins.
I don't know. You like to
talk Bruins every week.
You like to twist things, so I was like,
I like to twist things. You just twisted things.
Let me be the first person to twist something.
Okay.
I guarantee you, if I didn't say anything, you'd be like, "Oh, more Bruins news."
Boston this episode, anyways. Yep. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. So Zdeno Chara is now the record holder for most games played by an NHL defenseman with 1,652 games played, and on that record-breaking game, he had a fight with San Jose Sharks' Jeffrey Veal.
Kind of surprising, too, to see him fighting in that game.
Right.
It's nuts.
It's actually pretty cool. I wonder if they had a talk, but like, let's make this big,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but I bet... I bet he went because of it, but I don't think it was, like that. I don't know who this Jeffrey Veal guy is either.
I don't know. But Chara could be 50 years old, and I'd be still pissed scared of fighting
I wouldn't want to fight him.
I wouldn't want to fight him.
Fighting a 50-year-old, it's like fighting your dad. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to fight your dad.
I'm still going to get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
New York Islanders has received multiple calls from teams regarding his availability, which actually shocked me. Will be interesting to follow as we approach the trade deadline on March 21st. I'll be interested to see if Zdeno Chara still goes. I thought this trade to Islanders was his last move.
I bet he wants out. I bet he went to the Islanders this season because he's like, I could probably win a cup here. Yeah. Now the Islanders are terrible, so he's probably like, I got to get the hell out of here too. So I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see him maybe like a Calgary. I think Calgary's picked up everything they're going to pick up though. Yeah. Toronto, they just moved Jake Muzzin. So if you can tie up $750, you still have just under $5 million to spend on another trade deadline move.
I mean, Toronto.
Yeah,
they're going to go all first round.
Yeah, but they need toughness on defense. They need defensive stability. It's a good pickup for the team.
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado is probably set. It's weird to think, though, because I don't think any team looking at the trade deadline that says we could win a Stanley Cup says we're set. Like, you know what I mean? They're probably all looking at the deadline thinking, what can I do to give us the player that's going to get us over the hump? You know what I mean?
Right.
Even just a veteran status of a Zdeno Chara in your locker room on a cup run. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. Interesting to think about.
That'd be interesting thought. March 21st, coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, so we probably only have like 2 more episodes before we start, rattling stuff off.
Digging deep into this,
yeah. So you'll see a lot more trades and signings over the next few weeks from us. And a little bit of sad news here as we wrap up some NHL talk. Toronto's 2020 first-round pick, Rodion Amirov, has been diagnosed with a brain tumor. So we wish him the best of luck, and we hope everything works out and that he ends up being able to play in the pros. He's playing in the minor league. He's really just a prospect for them right now. But that is terrible news to see, and we hope that he makes through all of his treatments and everything all right.
Right, 100%.
Crazy.
So on to other hockey news here. Let's jump into the Olympics. I know it's over for all of you guys, but we're 2 weeks behind, so here we are.
We got screwed.
So for the Olympic women's, Canada women's broke records. Sarah Nurse recorded the most points with 18 and most assists with 13 in a single women's Olympic, and became the first black player to win Olympic gold in women's hockey as well. Marie-Philip Pouillon became the only hockey player to score to score in 4 Olympic gold medal games,
which is kind of nuts too, because that's 2022. 18, 14, and 2010. So
Right.
she's been doing this for 12 years.
Right.
That's nuts.
and still scoring.
In the gold medal game, too.
Right.
That's awesome.
Nuts.
That's huge.
The Troy Rivieres Lions Montreal ECHL affiliate has shown interest in signing Pouillon, which is cool news. And Team Canada also set the record for most goals in the Olympic tournament with 57 goals throughout the tournament.
This U.S.-Canada women's finals game on NBC also, it averaged 3.54 million viewers, which is more viewers than any NHL game this season, and it's the second most watched hockey game in the U.S. since 2019.
That's awesome.
That's so cool to see.
That's so cool to see. U.S.-Canada women's finals game on NBC averaged...
I just read that.
I'm a fucking idiot. You know what?
You good.
I'm
You're
dumb.
good. No worries.
No, you sounded so like you're just like, no, this is information that like it's just in my head. We didn't write it down.
I just memorized
in
that.
My head. Yep.
I memorized 3.54 million. But
Going
yeah,
to the men's.
that was great to see. It was a great turnout. I think it was awesome. It kind of like, as bad as it sucked that we didn't get to see the U.S. or Canada medal or play in any of the medal games in the men's.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, the stage was set for this. People were looking forward to this. This is a huge rivalry. Like, everyone was looking for this. It just sucked to see Brianna Decker miss the game too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I got on the women's hockey. I thought it was awesome. Good to watch.
Moving on to the Olympic men's hockey, USA knocked out in a shootout by Slovakia in the quarterfinals. Slovakia also tied the game in the last minute of regulation to force the OT and concurrent shootout. Sucks for the U.S., but so awesome to see how happy Slovakia was. Young hockey team celebrated on the ice when they heard the news on the shootout win.
I got some notes here too.
Who were they, like 5 years old, 6 years old?
Oh, they were young, man.
They
Yeah,
were
they were
young.
real little, and they were like, yeah, going nuts, screaming, like, practice is canceled.
Don't have to do this anymore.
There was actually one player on Slovakia that stood out among the rest. I think it's pronounced Juraj Slavkovsky.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 7 goals leading men's Olympics. He had 2 goals in the bronze medal game versus Sweden, and he helped Slovakia earn their first medal in history, obviously. So that bronze medal is the first medal that Slovakia's won for hockey,
Right.
which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's also ranked number 5 on Bob McKenzie's 2022 draft rankings,
Ooh,
too.
be on the lookout for him.
Yeah, right?
Awesome to see. Moving up in the world here. The first ever medal celebration was wild. Streets are packed. There were like thousands upon thousands
That
of
was
people.
nuts, dude.
I'd
Yeah.
probably show a photo if you guys down here who watch it on the YouTube. The first ever, Finland went on to win the gold over ROC Russia, and Slovakia won bronze over Sweden. Congrats to everyone except Putin. And now that threw over the 10-minute mark, fuck Putin. You know, that's exactly what I say. Fuck Putin and fuck this invasion of Ukraine. You know,
Wild.
I'm all for. There's so many Russians right now. They're just like really apologizing for their government, and I don't blame any Russian or most Russians at all for what's going on. So that's why I say fuck Putin, just in general. And that's
There you go.
my take on it.
There you go.
I feel like 99% of the world has that exact take on it right
Yeah,
now.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like some agreement. I'm going to butcher this, but X amount of years ago, like the borders are set. This is what it is. Like, that's what you have to live with. And in 2014, they go and they take Crimea, however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're just going to go and try and take more of Ukraine. And if they get away with this and do it, I imagine that China's going to be like, hey, I can do this too, and take over Taiwan in fucking a night.
Right.
So
exactly.
it's just going to lead to a lot of bullshit. So
Yeah.
it just needs to be stopped.
Right.
Nip it in the bud, and
100%.
that's what I think.
So
But
stay strong, Ukraine.
Yeah.
I heard they were fighting back, so
Yeah.
which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
So.
They don't really have a choice either, though. Ukraine's not letting any men 18 to 60 leave the country. So
No.
gonna be some 60-year-old fucking firing a machine gun.
What was that island that they're trying to take
Oh,
over?
dude! So a Russian warship comes over to this island that's basically, it's probably like a lake with an island in it in Ukraine, and it comes over and it says like surrender now or we'll have to like open fire. You'll be bombed. You'll die. And they had this lengthy message about we're a Russian warship, blah 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 blah, and it said Russian warship, go fuck yourself, and then they just blew them up. So those
fucking
there were 13
savage.
guys that like those were their last words. Russian warship, go fuck yourself. and
Fucking
then just
badass.
Lit them up.
Badass. You know?
Yeah. Sad to see.
Right.
War is fucked. The footage is terrible, and it's awful to see all these refugees and people having to flee their own homeland.
I don't want to get too much into it, but I found out that Russia bombed an orphanage, I think this morning.
Jesus Christ.
It's just so fucked.
It's never, I mean, as bad as it sounds, with normal war, I mean, this is technically normal war, but, like, it's never intentional, too. There are civilian casualties. They weren't intending to bomb an orphanage. You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. It's tough.
But let's move on to more hockey news, because we're here to be happy, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have my beer.
That's why I got my mixed drink right here. Oh, it keeps me happy right now. We survived COVID. Now World War III. So, moving on. So, we have Jaromir Jagr. He turns 50 and fulfills his dream of playing pro hockey at the age of 50. He said, when you're 30 and saying you're going to play until 50, most people laugh because they don't know, but I'm built differently. Just like...
Jesus Christ.
Just like...
He really hit him with I'm built different.
Just built different,
Savagery.
Bud. Just built different. Jagr plays for the Kladno Knights in the Czech League. This season, he's had 8 goals and 11 assists in 38 games played. We talked about Jagr a few times on the show, and you gotta love him, man. Just doing it for the new generation coming up, and just still crushing it.
Yeah, 100%. Cool to see
him. Yep.
Cool to see him play till 50 too. I think Brady just announced his retirement, so he's not gonna play till he's 50. I don't think there's an NHL guy like Chara is technically the oldest. Like, he's not gonna play till he's 50. I don't think.
Nope. Jagr's just.
I think it's just him. He is just built differently.
He's going to have a walking cane with him into the rink.
We're going to stick to some Boston news here from Matt because he loves Boston. BU beats Northeastern 1-0 to win their first Beanpot tournament since 2015. And the Beanpot tournament, for those of you that don't know, doesn't mean a fucking thing. It's basically just regular season games, but they schedule it like a tournament, and people love it.
People love it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's kind of weird, like... this sounds really lame. Like, it's probably a dumb take by me, but, like, the people that are alumni of colleges that are, like, I don't know, 70, they got, like, the class ring they wear all the time. Like, they obsess over their school. They go to these games and stuff. Like, that's weird.
Huge.
I think it's weird, though. Like, that's like me, like, wearing my, like, high school Letterman jacket. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know, a little odd. Like, you kind of living in the past here a bit, bud. Like,
if you don't live in Boston, and when we say Beanpot and you have no idea, it's because it's a big Boston thing. But if you're talking about Boston, like, we're bringing out guys, BU, Northeastern, BC. These guys are just ready to play for the NHL. So, like, you're seeing this tournament of just, like, NHL-ready guys in a tournament, you know? And it's so big for these big hockey colleges here. So.
Yeah, but like I said, the tournament is actually technically just regular season games. It's not playoffs
that's what
or
I'm
anything
saying.
too.
Like, it's nothing
it's
too
just
crazy.
Counts towards the schedule. It's cool.
It's like, oh, I lost the Beanpot. Cool. Let's go back to the regular season.
Oh, no. Guess we're drinking Natty Ice again this weekend. Sticking to Northeastern, too, on the women's side, Erin Frankel has set another new record. Most career wins in Hockey East play with 71.
Frankel killing it. We talked about her last year. We talked about her this year.
Talked about her last week, I feel like.
Put her last week. I put her up on Instagram. It's like I can't talk about her enough because she's just so good in, like, breaking records. So talking about her career wins with 71, February 26th, which is actually I was gonna say today, but it's actually tomorrow.
Happy midnight.
Yep. That will start the Hockey East tournament where Frankel and the Huskies will play to win the championship. The championship game will be played on March 5th for anyone who wants to check it out. The Northeastern women's win 25-4-1 this season.
Dude.
What a record and a half.
Yeah, I think I saw a post too. So they play with similar to NHL, NFL. The playoffs now have to go through the Northeastern Stadium until they get bounced because they're the top seed. So you know, they're the home team throughout the playoffs, which is pretty cool. Think about how big of an advantage that is in college too.
Huge.
That's awesome.
Huge.
A little bit of tough news here. USPHL player actually suckered a referee. I'm sure some of you have seen the clip. He's coming up the right boards, gets edged out by the defensive player on the breakout, and then actually bumps into the ref. And I think he was mad that the ref didn't get out of his way. Excuse me. So he kind of like gave him a little cross-check, kind of Dylan Cousins style, right in the back.
Yep.
And the ref says, "No, that's it. You're gone. Like you can't hit a ref." And the ref skates over to center ice, is like arm up, like pointing him off the ice. They're going to put someone else in the bench for a 5-minute major. And the player comes over, and it seems like he's going to have words with the ref. The ref is just like not hearing it, waving him away. And then out of nowhere, he just like
Sucker punches.
dummied him, like Evander Kane, Brendan Lemieux style, like punch in the face, folded his head back. Like the ref was not expecting it, and just awful to see the way the guy went down. The guy's probably like twice a kid's age too. It's terrible, but he actually has been given a lifetime ban from the USPHL for this incident. Yeah, that's no room for that.
No room at all for that shit. USPHL, the United States Pro Hockey League. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this league is just breeding you for the professionals, and if you can't act professional, I'm sure this is a league that's just like, if you can't act like a certain way, then you don't deserve to be in this league.
Yeah.
And which is what happened here. So I'm all for this lifetime ban. It's just there's no excuse for it at all. I don't give a shit if you went over social media and it's like, oh, dude, I was just angry at the time. Like, no. I don't care how angry you are. You don't hit a ref. It's different when you hit a player like who you've been talking shit about like all game. Like,
it is kind of interesting when you think about that though. Like, if he suckered a player like that, like an unsuspecting player, and just folded him like head back, like
he'd probably still be in the league.
Yeah, like I mean, USPHL there's no fighting, but he would probably get like a game or two.
Yeah,
and it's so weird to think about that, like because it's the ref. The ref has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that men's league incident we had where they fought the scorekeeper.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's like someone who has nothing to do with your game,
dirty players.
Yeah,
no room for it anymore.
All right, sticking to young kids, the WHL, Connor Bedard, this guy is on fire as of February 15th because we're 2 weeks behind. Upon returning to the league after World Juniors, he has had 10 goals and 14 assists, and he's averaged 2.4 points per game.
Lighten it up.
So if any of you listeners out there are having any children, any boys, feel free to name them Connor if you want them to be a fucking all-star hockey player.
Yeah,
because
for some reason, Connor seems to work.
That's the key.
Yep, Connor McDavid.
Or Chris.
Connor
Chris
Bedard.
Ronan.
No such thing as Chris.
Chris Tanev.
No, that's not how this works. Name a Chris that's good at the
Chris
NHL.
Dreger? Is that his name? Chris Tanev?
It's Brandon Tanev 1.
There's Chris Tanev too.
Oh, there's a Chris Tanev?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a Christopher Tanev. We'll fact check me and dummy me if there isn't, but I think there's two.
But, yeah, Connor Bedard yet again for like the 100th time on this podcast, but I can't wait to see what awful team he gets drafted to in the draft, because he's either going to Montreal Canadiens or he's going to go somewhere just terrible.
But that's the parity in this league, though. Like, do you know what parity is? I use that word all the time, and I say it like it's parody. It's parity, but I don't pronounce it right. I would feel weird if I said parity.
Parity. Yeah.
It's basically like it shows the balance in the league, like when you compare one thing to another. It's parity, I guess. Mm-hmm. He goes to a bad team, right? Like a Buffalo, Montreal, and Arizona,
right.
And just because they're a bad team when he gets drafted there, dude, like having that one piece like can turn the entire organization around by the end of your career. Look at Connor McDavid. Think about how bad the Oilers were, but also think about like the misses they had, like the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, not necessarily a huge miss.
Right.
Nail Yakupov, huge miss.
Huge miss.
The top draft picks that Edmonton has taken and just fumbled with, like, doesn't always work. But I think in the league nowadays, just because you're a bad team, perfect example is Montreal, where they were in the Cup Finals last year. Like, you can do whatever you want in this league almost, you know?
Right.
I think it's a little different, but
I think with COVID, too, that kind of switched everything up, too.
Yeah.
Now that everything's back to normal, Montreal had just like that Northern Division where they just faced the Canadian team, so I think it helped them.
Oh, now you do. Now you're on Chris's side.
But now we're seeing what Montreal would look like with a normal schedule and them facing everyone else.
Interesting.
Now I'm on Chris's side?
Yeah. Remember that I said that last season? You're like, no, I don't think the Canadian division had much to do with that, getting a Canadian team to the finals. That was like my hot take, and Mandarino didn't agree with me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we talked about. No, it wasn't like you guys entirely disagreed with me, but you were like,
we had
I don't see it as
opinions.
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It wasn't like a disagree. It was just different opinion. But let's stick to young kids again here. Speaking of World Juniors too, they're going to be replayed in Alberta, Canada in August this year. It's going to be the same age category, but a total fresh start with the previous results being wiped. So that kind of sucks. And at the same time, think about if you age out.
Almost toward the end of like summertime, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Yep. You got to keep it on schedule. Think about the kids that are going to be too old, that were like young enough to qualify for the last one, but by the time August rolls around, they're too old to play in the juniors. That sucks.
I didn't even think about that.
That sucks because it's the same age category, but a completely fresh start. So you have to make a new team. And now someone that was too young to play can now play in it too. That's the other side of it, but it just sucks for the guys that are like, dude.
I was hearing a lot from like players who are like born in September, just like because I'm born in September, I can't play, you know?
Yeah, that's me. That's me too.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That's
funny.
rough.
All right, let's jump over to this guy here. This was nuts to see. So this is Kirill Dolzhenkov. I like the way that sounds. Dolzhenkov. He's 17 years old, but he's 6'7", and he can score a Michigan goal.
What are they putting in McDonald's?
What are they Putin in McDonald's in Russia?
In McDonald's. That's good.
They are.
I want to think about that all night and just laugh.
So he's what a great pun. He's playing in the Russian MHL, which is the junior hockey league, and he's actually eligible for the 2022 draft as well. He's currently ranked 71 for prospects by Bob McKenzie as well too. So I just thought I'd shout him out. I thought that was nuts, dude. 17 years old, 6'7". That's insane. I would not want to be having to feed that horse in my house. And scoring Michigan's goals too. Like what?
Sick. Right.
It's insane what these kids can do nowadays.
I don't know about 6'7", but Jimmy Hayes, when I was growing up with him in school, man, he was huge.
Yeah.
He was just a massive individual. Like we're in like 4th, 5th grade, and like you're just looking up to him, like, you know, just insane. Kevin stayed the same. I'm sure he's taller now, like he just had a growth spurt. But back in the day, like me and Kevin Hayes used to be like the same height, but you just look up to Jimmy. Like I don't know, some guys just like have that size difference, you know.
For sure.
But I feel like when you get that size too, like I think a lot of like health problems come with that too, because the human body's not supposed to be like that tall.
Dude, 6'7" 2 inches shorter than Chara. That's the tallest player in the NHL, and this kid's only 17.
Right.
And also to be able to play hockey at that height is kind of nuts.
It is. It's insane to think about.
And all it's going to take is like one kid to go low and hit him in the knees, and he's done. Oh, for like his whole career.
For his whole career. Or his back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tall people with like back problems and stuff because they can't support it. But
that's why Chara got fucking swole as shit. Yeah, that guy's jacked.
Still wouldn't fuck with him. Nope. Dude could be in an elderly home. I'll walk in, look at him, and be like,
"No,
hi sir, how are you?" Oh boy, this is what we've been looking for, bud. Sean Avery. He's not a fan of Coyotes Clayton Keller in a video post. I love that video, by the way.
That video is so fucked, dude. He's such a fucking like weirdo character, dude.
Right.
Like he just does weird shit. You're a weird dude.
It's weird that in 2022 I can say I still hate Sean Avery. Like he's the Brad Marchand.
But it literally shouldn't be. I think everybody should be able to say that till they die.
Right.
Doesn't matter what year it is.
But oh my God, it was just so bruised. Like this Clayton Keller kid, God, he sucks and he can't.
He's
Look
just
at him,
one of
he's
those.
Just not moving.
He's just one of those guys that says things so you talk about him too. It's annoying,
and it's annoying. His bike videos in New York just go fuck.
The bike
himself.
things are so funny. There's one video. I don't know what he's yelling at the guy about. There's literally like a whole thing of bike racks or some shit. It kind of seems like he's on his bike, right? And he pulls up, and there's some dude with like a big ass 18-wheeler. I'm gonna go into this for a second if that's all right. And the dude's like unloading shit off a truck, and there's a ton of like bike racks, I think. I don't know what it is. And the dude's unloading something, and he's like, what is Avery saying to him? He's like, look at you, you dumb motherfucker. Just because the dude's working or some shit. And he bumps the thing into the fucking, oh no. He goes, look at you, you lazy motherfucker. And he bumps the, like whatever he's moving into the bike racks. They all fall over. He's like, you're so lazy and dumb. You dumb motherfucker. Like, God, what are you doing, dude? Just fucking shitting on this dude working his 9 to 5? You have nothing better to do, Sean Avery?
Absolutely nothing.
Beat it, dude.
So before the podcast, I actually looked up his hockey DB and was looking up his stats compared to Brad Marchand because you can, like, Marchand's really become the... I actually don't think he can compare to Sean Avery, but Sean Avery is like a piece of shit on the ice, and Brad Marchand comparably so. And Brad Marchand has way better stats than fucking Sean Avery had in his entire career, especially in the past like 5 seasons. So I was gonna dust him on that, but I'm gonna be the bigger guy and just not say anything because I think he's gonna dust himself with this because I think after all that shit talk, he tried to get back and tried out for the Orlando Solar Bears where he was signed and then let go 2 days later. Avery, the 41-year-old, last played for the Connecticut Whale in the AHL back in 2012 before saying he's retired and trying to give it another shot this year. Avery is best known for the now Avery rule, which is the rule that states a player can't stand in front of the opposing goalie and wave his stick in front of him like he did with Marty Brodeur. He's that pest, you know? He's that pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think it would be unfair to compare his stats to Marchand. They just, like, back in the day, it was a different time. You do certain things on the ice, and it's not the same league where, you know, we need 4 lines of production. It's, you know, we have our 4th line to do certain things. So.
Right.
But, yeah, this is nuts, man.
This is just nuts.
I thought it was so cool to see him try to get back in at 41, though. I thought it was awesome, cool to see. Wild to me that they signed him and then 2 days later said we're all set.
Right.
Like, it's just weird.
I do want to say, though, it's February 26th now, and his social media has been really quiet ever since he got let go.
I mean, it was announced today, wasn't it?
It was announced yesterday.
Give it time. It's been
Give it
fucking
time?
like 24 hours.
He'll be
dude.
back.
Yeah,
He'll be back.
back.
Know
He's
something
all
bears.
about social.
They don't know
media.
anything about good players over there, you know. Start ratting on them.
Like,
you know?
he's gonna be like
41 years old.
I bet they're gonna trade for that bum Clayton Keller.
He'll just be sitting there doing nothing like he always does.
Quick couple touch-ups on the Russia news that we had too. The UHL, which is the Ukrainian Hockey League, right, has suspended hockey operations indefinitely for the safety of their staff and players, obviously, and that the Finnish ice hockey team, Jokerit, have quit the KHL due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Jokerit was set to play Spartak Moscow in the playoffs next week, so that kind of sucks that they gave up on playoffs, you know, a week before they were supposed to start, but it is what it is.
Big fuck you. Yep.
Wild, man.
Mm-hmm. Wild news.
All right, we got some other news to cover real quick. Little side jabs here. So the Super Bowl was a couple weeks ago, as you know. The LA Rams ended up winning. Yeah, I bet you don't. LA Rams ended up winning the Super Bowl over the Bengals. The Bengals were the underdog by a long shot, and they still almost won. It was a really good game, but the referees fucking steal the show again, man. The NFL is just ridiculous for this shit. There was like a 70-yard bomb to a Bengals player, and I think like I don't know what it was. There was a bomb. This is like 2 weeks back now, so I'm having trouble remembering. There's a long touchdown pass to a Bengals player. There was a face mask that wasn't called. That's why he scored the touchdown. The refs missed it. And then later on in the game, there was some makeup bullshit call that the refs were like, we got to get him back for this one. He calls them for it, and it just changes the whole game. I thought it was stupid. It's just the referees taking over the story. But anyways, moving along. Joe Burrow had the opportunity to be the first quarterback in NFL history to win the National College Championship, the Heisman Trophy, and the Super Bowl. He would also have accomplished all of this in under 3 years, where no quarterback had ever done it before, which is kind of nuts. Dude.
Interesting.
Yeah. And lastly, Aaron Donald is so fucking yoked, dude. That guy, he's a defensive lineman. You saw the picture?
I've never seen the picture.
I sent it in the Snapchat group, dude. He's celebrating with his shirt off, dude. His traps are massive. He's a defensive lineman, which is over 300 pounds. He's only 10% body fat, which like seems like a lot when it's 30 pounds of fat, but this dude is like fucking swole, dude. He is huge, massive. Another little side note too. The Rams player Van Jefferson's wife was actually having a baby the same night that they won the Super Bowl.
Whoa, really?
So he won the Super Bowl, was celebrating with his team. It was like the media's interviewing him, and he's like, I actually got to go. My wife just had the baby. And he like literally like went out, got changed, and like went out and had the baby. Yeah, they had pictures with him later. It's so cool.
Shit.
Imagine winning the biggest trophy in sports, and then the same night like leaving and being like, my baby's here too.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
What a story for a child, you know,
yeah,
too.
For real.
That's awesome. That's awesome news. Yeah, I don't know fucking jack shit about football, but I was going to give you shit, too. I'm like, what are we, the football podcast
Yeah,
now?
no shit, right? We got a little golf talk. We're going to save the Saudi Golf League for next episode because I didn't do my research yet, but this thing was supposed to pop off. Bryson DeChambeau, a bunch of other guys were going to go because the money was going to be absurd. Phil Mickelson made comments about the PGA. He was supposed to go. It seems like the Saudi Golf League might even fold now. It's supposed to be like 20 of the top golfers.
Yeah, you said fold. You know what? Now I'm thinking about what's that other Twitch thing? Remember Twitch? There's like another Twitch, like different website that's just like Twitch, and they were paying like streamers.
Ninja went to it and it folded already. I forget what it was.
And it folded so quick, but they were guaranteed the money.
YouTube Gaming was huge too.
YouTube, it's still up there.
Yeah.
But there's
a
another
third one.
That's probably that's going to happen. They're probably. Oh, I don't know anything about.
Yeah, this is like a way different scale than fucking live streaming free video games. You know what I mean?
But to the guarantee money, like we should.
It's not guaranteed. Like if it folds, they're gonna give it away anyways.
Oh, really?
And also, it's in the sense that like there's only 20 guys that are supposed to go to it, and if 10 of them back out, like there's no guaranteed money now. Like we didn't even make the league. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, it's a lot of hot topics, morals about like where the money's coming from. Like Saudi blood money, shit like that. Like women just got their licenses 5 years ago. Like it's wild. But Phil Mickelson, the big thing was basically Phil Mickelson talked shit about the PGA. Was signed up for the Saudi Golf League and was like ready to jump ship. it seems like it's not really going to happen yet, and now Mickelson is losing a lot of sponsorships and a lot of money, and might even be blocked from PGA from his comments. So he might be left in the dust at the end of this, but we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll have some more info for you guys next week. I just thought it was cool.
That's such a stupid move. Just to look at something and be like,
hey, this might happen. Let me fucking dummy my current
everyone
organization.
Else.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But Waste Management Phoenix Open was fucking electric, dude. Did you see that?
Yep.
So Sam Ryder was the first one to do it on hole 16. It's a short par 3, and it's basically just like you're chipping on, let's call it 260. He's chipping on, I don't know my yardage, whatever. These guys are unreal, so he probably does hit a wedge 260, whatever. He's chipping on, and at the end of it, there's basically like a whole cul-de-sac of just stands around, and people are all like drinking beers, going nuts, and like they're quiet. He hits his tee shot, it goes in the hole, and just fucking champagne, just beer everywhere. They're just destroying the course, basically, just chucking beers everywhere. Everyone's going nuts. Huge celebration. Sam Ryder's going nuts. And actually, 2 more players, I believe, got hole-in-ones on that hole.
Really?
That same weekend. And the same thing happened again and again and again. So it was kind of nuts to see. Personally, I'm not for it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand getting the young crowd involved and like growing the game, but it's just not for me.
No.
I'm not about making this into like a college booze fest party weekend.
I like the way golf is going. Like, we got into it during the summertime. Like, we're back into it. I like the relaxed vibe it's bringing, but the fact that people now feel comfortable throwing like thousands of beer cans on the grass is just like,
it's kind of like a once in a lifetime. Like, that's cool. And then it happened 2 more times, so I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm very on the fence with it. I'm gonna sound like the boomer, which I know I am when it comes to golf. Like, there's a lot of shit that I don't think should be happening with golf, and a lot of different ways I think the game should be growing that the PGA is just neglecting. So, I'm doing a lot of talking.
No,
I have basically all of these side notes are all just
because the next 2 is all you, so you might as well do it.
Yeah, so I actually had some pretty cool lax news. I can get a little graphic for you guys down here too. BU versus Bryant. We had some crazy weather in Boston a couple weeks ago. This was kind of like a snow squall that hit like north of the city in like New Hampshire. So a snow squall, you know what that is or no?
No.
It's kind of like a very like small, concise snowstorm that's like traveling and it's moving, right? So it's crazy weather in Boston. BU is leading 8-7 with 4 minutes 18 seconds left on the third when one of the snow squalls come through, and the broadcast, like, it's fine. The Bryant's on the offense, on the attack. They're setting up the play, getting it all ready, and then the broadcast is basically just whited out. It almost looks like fog, but it's snow. And earlier in this game, like, everything was fine. The weather was fine. Everything's great. And this was very brief. Like, the first quarter, second quarter, this is the graphic I'll put here for you guys, for the Spotify and Apple listeners. First quarter, second quarter images, like a regular, like, looks like a spring day almost, but it was pretty cold out. Third quarter, it's just completely whited out. You can't even see the players on the field. And then fourth quarter, there's like, it looks like almost an inch of snow on the ground. Not an inch, but, a dusting. But it was a crazy game. And then earlier in that game, Bryant long pole defenseman Mike Pressler scores a buzzer beater before the end of the first quarter from his own end to go up 4-3.
Threw it.
It was nuts,
Some of the
dude.
videos, like, holy shit.
Yeah, and there was 1 second left. The buzzer went off. I was like, dude, does that count? Like, it was very close. They looked at it. It ended up counting.
Is lacrosse like hockey where it just, like, it has to cross the line at a certain point, or as long as the ball is, like, in the air?
I don't think they have that kind of net cam technology. Maybe PLL does. Yeah. But when it comes to college, it's all about the ref, like, that's a goal. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, okay.
And I think it's different where in hockey, like, it can hit the post and go straight down and, like, stay out. But this ball is so bouncy that it's either going to go straight down and bounce out or straight down and bounce in.
Yeah.
And the refs are kind of looking at the net of the lacrosse net to see if there's movement. Mm-hmm. And if they see that net move, they're like, yeah, that went in, So it's a little different there. BU ended up winning 13-8, but that game was just insane, dude. Shit. And those long pole goals from their own end are fucking crazy.
Insane.
Happens quite a bit.
I can't believe the carry that ball had too.
Yeah. Oh, they can bomb it, dude. It's so cool to see.
Insane.
But like the accuracy to actually put it on net and have it go in and beat the goalie, like it's wild. But yeah, that weather was
buzz
insane.
about that to this day.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's like, yeah, dude, I scored a long pole goal from my own end. Yeah, we lost 13-8, but it was still sick.
Yeah. What's that meme where like the dude with like the big muscles?
Oh yeah.
And he's like cornering this girl.
That's the best format.
That meme right there. He goes, I fucking rocketed this lacrosse ball across the field and scored. We lost, but
I had my guy.
I had my guy.
Oh, shit. That's great. Last thing I got for you. Oh, quick Tyler Toffoli note. Way back at the beginning of the episode. He actually scored.
Throwback.
He scored his first goal for the Flames in his first game back, too, which is sick. So clearly a great addition there. But anyways, if you guys want some wild shit to see on Instagram, it's not exactly appropriate. DangerCats69. I found this account the other day, dude. It has the craziest videos I've ever seen in my life. There's a guy holding a beer can, and he says, "Welcome to Jackass." And the dude has a gun and just shoots the beer can out of his hand. I'm like, what are we doing here?
We were scrolling through videos before this just to indulge me in all this information. And, like, half of those videos are just like, why?
Yeah.
As a human being, why would you do this shit?
Just, like, entire, like, belligerent nonsense. It's all Canada north of the border, too. It's great. Like, one guy is like, "Oh, nice to meet you, man. What's going on?" And he's like, "This guy just drove by, and I stopped him because I wanted to see. He hit a fucking moose while he was driving. The windshield is smashed in. The airbags didn't go off. The top of his car is just crunched, but he kept driving the car."
That's insane.
Just, like, some of the shit on this account is wild, dude.
Wild.
Just insane. But
Wild.
it's a great ride. It's electric. I like it. It's good. That's what
You
I'm all about.
find shit left and right.
Yeah. Where's
We're
my shot
actually,
glass?
so us, me, Tommy, Kyle, we're like, we've talked about you a bit. We're just like, you can't pinpoint what Chris likes. Like, we're talking about music especially. You're like, what does Chris like? Like, I was telling him,
I'm all
just
over
like,
the map.
when we end the podcast, we usually have a few drinks after and like listen to music, and you throw curveballs at me. You're just like, yeah, this is what I like. You're like,
Yeah, like, you guys are so big on the Arctic Monkeys and, like, can't stand it.
I'm not. I was never huge on the Arctic Monkeys at all, or that just genre of music. But our friend Kyle, like, really got me into it, and I wouldn't say really got me into it because I've only care about like 4 of their songs and that's it. But you've thrown me into like some rabbit holes that I've like really just dove into, and I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, like Oliver Tree and like Joji.
Oliver Tree for sure. Yeah.
Are like a couple of the ones that I really like because you can't like pinpoint what they are, what genre they belong in.
Yeah.
But it's just like really good. Like you could tell it's good music. And Arctic Monkeys, like I respect. Like they're definitely a good band, but I just don't like that British like 70s almost like rock sound to them.
Yeah, you
with his vocals.
You were giving me shit because I was singing a Beatles song.
I can't
doing
stand
notes,
the Beatles.
and you're just like, I can't do it.
Beatles are the
like,
worst.
I grew up on the Beatles.
The Beatles.
But that's like saying me with like Tool. Like I hate Tool.
That's entirely different. For someone to hate Tool and for someone to hate the Beatles, like that's not even the same wavelength. What do you mean?
So what I'm trying to say is like I think Beatles is like you grew up with it. Like my uncles used to play it all the time, so like now I love the Beatles. Whereas like our friend Mike, who loves Tool, grew up with his father like showing him Tool. You know, it's like it's that type of.
That's why you like them. But me not liking the Beatles isn't because I didn't grow up with them, or because you did grow up with them. I think that the Beatles get way more credit than they kind of deserve. Yes, they did create the music that created music in that sense.
Yeah.
But eventually someone else was going to do it. If they didn't do it, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be Beatles. It wouldn't be the same sound. Eventually someone else is going to do it.
Hot take, Chris.
And I don't think they're that, I don't know. It's probably also the sense that you weren't there when it happened. You know what I mean? If you were there when it happened, it's like, this is fucking new. You know what I mean? Like, no one's done this. This is great, you know? But for me, I'm like, doesn't hit the right things for me, you know? Yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't hate anyone, you know? If we're all the same, it would be so fucking boring.
Yeah.
You know?
But wait, what were you saying about, you're talking about me, music, what I like, pinpointing what I like? What do you mean?
Yeah, so a few Wednesdays ago, we usually hang out on Wednesdays, but I was hanging out and we're talking about music, like, what do you like? And I was showing him I was putting up some metal music, and Kyle doesn't like it at all. Like, he just refuses to enjoy it.
He likes Under Oath.
But he likes Under Oath, yeah.
Which is like blatant screaming.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird. He's got a weird sense, too.
So we brought up our friend Tommy, who's just funny because he never really puts on any music, but the music he does seem to put on is just like, oh, I didn't picture this coming from you.
He's very, like, if he played music trivia, he would get 0 questions.
Zero.
Right?
Yeah.
So funny. He's lucky he knows the names of the songs that he does like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He throws on Arctic Monkeys because it's on all the time.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I brought up you because I was like, you know what? Chris puts up like random shit that like you won't tell me that you like him at all. Like there's no notification, there's no sign at all that you like this band or like this genre. But like after the podcast, we'll sit there for a few beers or whatever. Be like, dude, put on this song, and I'm like, what? And we'll put it on, and I'll like it too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you listen to this? He goes, yeah, dude.
But like,
and Kyle said the same thing because he has your Spotify, and he goes, this song's on there like I didn't even know Chris liked. You know?
Yeah, and it's like sometimes it's just certain songs do it for me, but like the genre or the band doesn't. Like there's a Depeche Mode song that I really like.
Yeah.
There's that Panucci's Pizza song that I really like, but like I can't stand the rest of Depeche Mode's, the rest of their
Albums,
shit.
yeah.
And the same thing with like the entire genre of pop punk.
Right.
I fucking hate pop punk.
Same
but
thing.
there's a
pop
lot
punk,
of good pop punk songs that I really like.
Yep.
I don't know.
and that's the same with me.
And it's not the sense of like the whole, everything that comes with pop punk. It's more like I don't like the sound of it to begin with.
Yeah.
But some songs will hit the right, spot for me.
They'll hit the
and
mark.
I'm like, yeah, this is good.
Yep.
So I
And
don't
that's where Kyle and Tom, well, I wouldn't say Tommy, but Kyle and our friend Joe, who's been on the podcast twice, sent me down the rabbit hole of that type of genre, and I've really gotten interested. I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand it. I haven't listened to
what
metal.
genre they send you down? Pop punk?
Like, I want to say pop punk, but like Arctic Monkeys.
Like I would put them in with the Strokes. You know the Strokes?
Oh yeah, I know.
Strokes are very similar to Arctic Monkeys, I would say.
Like he brought me on to. I'm gonna say this again if you want to keep. I have it. So I have a music playlist on my YouTube. Oh, here we go. So like Arctic Monkeys. I mean, I've always been a fan of Bring Me the Horizon. Silverstein, he's brought me into.
Who did? Joe or Kyle?
Joe.
Yeah, that's more of a Joe.
Yeah, that's more of a Joe.
Joe's big into music, but he's big into his music. Like
You got me more into Oliver Tree.
Oliver Tree's great.
Bruno Mars. I've always loved Bruno Mars, but the Smoking Out the Window
Doesn't do it for me. Kyle
you don't like
loves that
Smoking
song.
Out the Window? Oh man, I blast that all the time. Harry Styles.
No thanks.
Joe got me into Harry Styles. Mac Miller, the Space Migration
Mac
section.
Miller's good, but it's still not for me too. Like there's some songs that do it for me, some that don't.
So there's only one song I like from them too. It's The Story So Far, Clairvoyant.
Oh, Story So Far is awesome. Like there's one album that they have that I can listen to front to back, great.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it, I'm not a fan of. Same thing, 4 Year Strong. I love one album that they have. The rest of it, I'm not a fan of.
Right. So if you're a fan of that or know any music, now listen to what I'll tell you what I liked before then, and it's like Slipknot, it's Trivium, it's a mix of like The Weeknd and like old school rap and like just strong like All That Remains and stuff. And your friends that are now my friends brought me on to that type of genre now.
Yeah, yeah. So you were kind of all over the map, but I'd say you were like far, this way and far that way,
Right.
and then their stuff is kind of like
right
more
in the middle,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So it just worked out, We were on a fucking tangent there.
Yeah, I think it's about time
Yeah, it's
that
about
we
time.
do this shot, and I go take a piss because I've had to do that.
Oh, fun fact! I just burped, and then I never know when I burp. And for everyone who watches the Mic'd Up with Matt videos, is I edit out a shit ton of burps.
Did you just say I never know when I burp?
I never know when I
You
burp.
literally burp into the microphone. Who
I
does
know,
that?
that's what I'm saying.
You're doing a podcast, you just burp in the microphone.
As soon as I did, I was like, oh shit! And
What if I just stood up and farted into the microphone, dude?
That's different.
That is exactly as disrespectful. All the listeners that are listening just had to listen to you burp into the microphone.
Suck it, all you listeners.
All you Apple and Spotify listeners, I just stood up and farted in the mic.
Yep.
No, not actually.
I don't know, but yeah, and the Mic'd Up,
You gotta get you a mute button.
I'll edit it and be like, oh my god, what the hell's going on with me?
Jesus,
I get it from my
dude.
grandfather though. My grandfather, it's just like
Grandfather's an alcoholic like us.
100,
I'm just kidding.
100%.
I'm just kidding. Shot. Ricochet shot for your grandfather.
DNA, buddy.
What do we got today?
All right, I got Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey.
Take a wild guess.
This is it's been like 2 weeks, bud.
Yeah.
This is SoCo.
Yeah, SoCo Caramel.
SoCo Caramel.
Let's go. Oh, I'd say it gets better every time, but it doesn't.
That's the last one.
You gotta buy more nips. You probably have some at Tommy's, right?
I have a bunch of Tommies.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
This one is I'm going to switch it up a bit. Apple and Spotify listeners, we're going to need you guys to like, rate, and review our podcast, please. That helps us out a ton. So if you guys could do that, and then the YouTube listeners, please like, subscribe, all that nonsense that all your favorite YouTubers say. But thanks everyone for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
You do the piece, bud. Do it again. You know what? Do it again.
Peace.
Bye, guys.